All right, we have our next run set up. We have turtlerun2412 running Pit People. Take it away.
Hello there, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. My name is Turtle, and I am here today to play for you the wonderful speedrun, the any percent speedrun of Pit People. So Pit People is a top-down tactical turn-based game, much in the same vein as Fire Emblem or XCOM. What makes it different, aside from a few mechanical things, which we'll talk about later, but what really makes it different is the game's humor. This game is so funny. It was made by the Behemoth, the same studio who did Alien Hominid, Castle Crashers, Battle Block Theater, and are coming out with Alien Hominid Invasion in 2 weeks. If you have played any of those games, you know exactly the type of humor that this game uses, and it's so good. It's so funny. Please play this game. I'm gonna skip a lot of the dialogue because it's fast, but like, it's so good. So we have a few settings to set up before. We do need to skip the intro because it's faster. I'm gonna need to turn on a couple of settings here because the game likes to reset them every time you start a new run. Also, here's a fart noise. You're welcome. And this game's humor, it's so good. I want to be able to make sure I can use all of my abilities as quick as possible. And then, one thing, I do have to click this, which means the best song in the game doesn't get played. So audience, yes, you on the other side of that camera there, I have a thing that you need to do to help me during this run. Please pull up a music tab in whatever your favorite music streaming service is, YouTube, Spotify, whatever, and listen to a song called Wash My Hands by Cormac. The artist is spelled K-O-R-M-A-C. It's such a good song, but I don't get to play it, and it really breaks my heart because I love Cormac's music to the point where I listen to it in my real life at work, while driving places in my car. Please listen to Wash My Hands by Cormac. And if you would like to start it up at the same time as the run, then it will happen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. All right, so after I get some free time loss because I have purchased Battle Block Theater and Castle Crashers, yes, this is pay to lose. We'll get the first RNG of the run, and we got the battle RNG. All right, I'll talk about that in a sec, but first let's set up my units. I really want to give everyone the strongest weapons possible, basically going all in on DPS and ignoring defense, for the most part. We'll have a little bit of defense, for example, Horatio has a big shield, but for the most part, we're just gonna punch people in the face really hard. But let's talk about that first instance of randomness, because I skipped the intro. And normally in the intro, you are given the 5 main story characters and taught the mechanics of what I believe in game is called recruiting, but I call kidnapping because that's funnier. You are taught how to kidnap, and since I wasn't taught how to do that, the game gives me a kidnap victim for free to help my team party get up to 6 total units. And what the game decides to do is, because I only have access right now to humans and cupcakes, it gives me a 50-50 chance of a human or a cupcake, and we unfortunately got a cupcake. So let's talk about what cupcakes do. Again, cupcakes are kind of pivotal to the game, or at least they're supposed to be, because they are the healer unit of this game. They will throw their delicious, juicy little frosting into your mouth in order to heal you, as we might see right here. I don't know how much damage any of my units have taken, but yep, look at that. So they heal, which is really nice and cute, and also they're completely and utterly useless to the speedrun, and we hate them. And that's because we want to deal damage to things, like for example this gate that's blocking our path. So since cupcakes don't deal any damage, they're pathetic and useless and bad. So I'm gonna move you here, move you up here, move you here, move you here. Okay, yeah, cupcakes are bad, and it sucks that we got a second one, but that's just how the RNG goes. It is fine. A lot of this game is RNG, as you will soon see, but aside from the cupcakes, the other race we have access to at the start of the game is humans, and we have 4 of those, which are the 4 canonical story character humans. And after I do a quick turn that is maybe a little bit mentally intensive, there's a lot going on into making this turn optimal. There we go. So let's talk about our 4 human characters who we will be seeing throughout most of the run. First off, Horatio, the guy with the big, curly, twirly mustache here. Horatio is technically the main character of the entire game. And so, in accordance with that, I give him a buff that I only get 1 instance of, and that's called the hero buff. You know that he has it because he has a bunch of crowns floating around him. That hero buff increases his offense, his defense, his movement, his basically every single stat. The ones we really care about are his movement gets increased and his damage. So he, unlike normal humans, has 4 movement, whereas the base human typically has 3. So yeah, that's pretty good. We like Horatio. He is our biggest DPS unit at the first chapter. Next up is Pipistrella or Pipistrella. I call her Pippi because that's her name. Her name is Pippi. Both she and Horatio have a specific type of weapon that I believe is called a mallet, but I call it a helmet smasher. And that's because that's what it does. It smashes helmets. So it deals bonus damage when used against, actually, Horatio, I need you to move here. It does bonus damage when used against helmeted enemies. And so for this first map, which is against a faction in the game called the Helmetites, whose leader is Helmetor, yes, smashing helmets and getting bonus damage is pretty good. So in fact, a lot of the early game has a lot of helmets, so we'll be keeping these two wielding helmet smashers for quite a while. They are good DPS. Next up, Yosef. Yosef is the blondie here, and he has a weapon. No, I actually want you to stay here. Yeah, here, sure, why not? Horatio has these axes. And so these axes, while they can be used melee, as we're seeing him do right now, the axes can also be thrown. So while the dual purpose means they don't have as much DPS as a normal weapon, their utility more than makes up for it. So if all of my melee humans are blocking spaces off, Yosef can still get DPS from range, which is really nice. We very much like Yosef and his utility throughout the run. He also, when he throws his axes, has a small chance to stun enemies, which is so unreliable that I'll basically never be counting on it. But, you know, maybe it'll happen and it'll be cool. Who knows? Not me. I won't know it until I see it, but you're moving here. Great. Great. Don't like that, but whatever. Last off is Sophia. Sophia here is the one with the Hattie Haddington head on, because if I'm going to lose time to unlocking it, I might as well, you know, put it on a unit. So Sophia has a light sword, which does not a ton of damage, and as well as a net, which does exactly 0 damage. It can be thrown from 2 range to trap enemies. And so you might be thinking to yourself, Turtle, just a second ago, you were really like harping on the cupcakes because they don't deal any damage. Why are you okay with Sophia dealing no damage? And that's because the net is 100% required for the run, first off. And second off, because her equipment is lightweight. Both the net and the light sword have low weight, and because she is so low weight, Sophia actually gets boosted up to 4 movement instead of the normal human 3. The only other way I'd be able to do that is with the hero buff, but I already used that. So Sophia having the net to trap enemies, as well as 4 movement, makes her really, really versatile as a support unit. And both my cupcakes are finally dead. I actually like it that they're both dead, because we have now beaten up Helmetor past the threshold, and we will be getting into map 2. All right. So here we are. Helmetor has decided to run away in his spaceship like a little crying baby, but we are not giving up. We do need to fight him to the death because he murdered Pippi's dad or something in the intro. I don't know. I skipped the intro. It doesn't matter. But yeah, here we are with our just 4 humans. The cupcakes did a very valiant job in distracting a bunch of the enemies, but you know, they don't do damage, so they're dead now. We'll never see them again. Say goodbye to cupcakes, except for this one. This one can stay because oh, he fell down actually. Boop, boop. Oh well. All right, so you might have noticed that if you've ever played Fire Emblem or XCOM before, or any tactical game like it, you'll usually move your units and then decide like, hey, I want to attack this enemy, or I want to use this item. I actually am not able to do that in this game if you haven't been paying attention. All I'm doing is moving my units. And so the way that who I attack is chosen is entirely based on RNG, which is one of the key mechanics of making this speedrun go zoom zoom fast. I'm gonna put you here actually. I want Yosef to not die. So what happens is if a unit is melee, for example, and they have 1 valid adjacent target, there is a 100% chance to attack that target. However, if a unit is adjacent to 2 valid targets, there is a 50% chance to attack the first, and then a 50% chance to attack the second. So if there's 3 valid targets, it's a 33, 33, 33, and so on and so forth. it can get pretty rough. Luckily, the enemies have the same RNG pattern, so I was trying to save Yosef by just having him be adjacent to Sophia there, but didn't work out in the end. Oh well. Yosef is not my big DPS unit, it is these two, so losing him hurts, but it's not the end of the run. If I do lose Sophia here, the one with the Hattie Haddington hat, if I lose her, I reset the map, because I 100% need her to be alive. But she's doing fine on health right now, so yeah, we're looking pretty good. There is another RNG element in this game, is the number of enemies that spawn in any given map is also random. So in this map, for example, you can have anywhere between 3 and 5 enemies spawn. And that is on the low end of the variance for the total of this game. So we got 4 enemy spawns, which is actually worse than average. Because both of my cupcakes died, the RNG is slightly more biased in my favor. But yeah, it didn't happen, and so we ended up with 4 enemies to my 4 units, but we just have to play it where it lies. That's how all the RNG works. You just do the best with what you can. Don't like that knockback. You're kind of a jerk there, Helmator, whatever. But once this archer is defeated, we'll be able to finish the map. You might notice that the actual target of this map with the big target on him is Helmator, but we didn't actually fight him at all, because we're going to kidnap him. You have to have an enemy be the last enemy alive on the entire map in order to kidnap them. If you throw a net at them and you have a cage in your inventory, they are yours. So Helmator,
you're quite good at barely
unit, and I get to use him. And Helmator is really, really good. Helmator's race is Cyclops, and Cyclopses in general are really, really good. First off, they take up 2 spaces in the party, so I can get rid of both my cupcakes. Again, you'll never see them again, ha ha ha. But the only other downside to Helmator, aside from his 2 cost, is that he is really, really slow. So while humans have a default movement of 3, Helmator has a default hero buff. I can't buff his movement super easily. So we're going down this way, okay. So yeah, he is super slow, but he more than makes up for it with his other attributes. Oop, I need to go down here. So Helmator, and Cyclopses in general, think of them like a bus. Not the type of bus that comes to the end of the level every 21 frames, that's the wrong game, but the type of bus that will run you over and just keep on trucking without any damage whatsoever. Usually you'd call that a tank, but I wanted to call it a bus for the joke, and I'm the speedrunner, you can't stop me! So yeah, Helmator is very, very strong, very tanky, and so we're here at the Treat Retreat Retirement Home. I'm going to look at all the cupcakes' names, because sometimes they're funny, they're randomly generated, as I talk about the lore of this game. So, I mentioned that our main character is in fact Horatio, the guy with the mustache. And in the intro that I skipped, Horatio's son Hansel is kidnapped by a giant space bear. And so we need to save Hansel from the giant space bear. But if you weren't paying attention to the last cutscene that I skipped, we kind of just destroyed a spaceship, oopsie daisy. So in order to get up to space to fight the giant space bear, we do need another spaceship. And in order to have another spaceship, we need to find it. We don't know where one is. Luckily, Yosef is a demi-cyclops, and his other eye is prophetic and can tell us where another spaceship is. But Yosef lost his eye and doesn't know where it is, so we also need to find Yosef's eye. Luckily, Yosef's friend knows where Yosef's eye is. And Yosef's friend isn't lost, we know where he is. Yosef's friend is at the Bloodbath Lagoon. But in order to get into the Bloodbath Lagoon, we need a golden ticket. And the last golden ticket was taken by this guy, Jerkamedes, who will definitely not show up in the run ever again, I promise. Wink. So, for him to give us the golden ticket, he wants us to murder an entire retirement home full of cupcakes, which I have failed at doing by not moving in a single inch. Turns out you can actually just not do the quest, and it's faster than... And so with the golden ticket, we will be able to go to the Bloodbath Lagoons, we can find Yosef's friends, we can find Yosef's eyes, we can get Yosef's eyes, we can find a spaceship, we can get a spaceship, we can go to space, we can fight a giant space bear, we can save Horatio's son Hansel from the giant space bear. Yes, this will all be on the test at the end of the run. I hope you were paying attention. Oh man, I love this game so much. Yeah, the story is completely kooky and bonkers, but that's what you'd expect. Turn to the main hub up here. In order, I didn't split my first split, did I? Okay, we're just gonna ignore my live split. It's fine. Who cares if this is potentially world record? Yeah, let's talk about the world maps then. So, in this game, there are 5 overworld maps. And each map has like half a dozen to 10 different spots that I can be placed on each map. And at the beginning of the game, and then once randomly in the middle of it, I will be placed on a random position on a random one of the 5 overworld maps. This is one of the worst maps, but whatever. Oh my god, I'm really bad at the nitro right now. Help. But yeah, so I don't know exactly where I'm going to be at the start of the run, and in the middle of the run, I'll also be completely blindsided and lost. We need to go down here. I've memorized some of the major locations, but not all of them, because there's way too many to memorize. So at this point, it is just me trying to navigate blindly by sight, and doing a job of it, I think. Again, this is a really bad map. Usually on every other map, so 4 of the 5 maps, this chapter is on the far right of the world map, but I got the one map where it was on the far left, and that one always screws me up. But okay. Now we are into Chapter 3, the Bloodbath Lagoon, where we got the maximum number of enemy spawns, which is great. Okay, at least the enemy is giving us good cannon RNG. And so that is the main thing that we're going to have to focus on at the start here, is the cannons. So the enemy ship has 3 cannons, and my ship has 3 cannons. We're going to be, doing some naval combat here and trying to blast each other out of the water by standing right behind our cannons. However, both my cannons and the enemy cannons are completely RNG. I have no say in where they will be fired whatsoever. Okay, we got really bad RNG there. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. We're having a good time here. No, I'm not mad about that at all. It's fine. But yeah, basically the cannons do have a slightly higher chance to target my cannon spaces, as well as my cannons have a slight chance to target their spaces. And if they do, they will knock back whoever is standing on that tile. So I can knock them off of their cannons, like we're going to see with this archer over here. Yeah. Now, honestly, they're giving me pretty good RNG. Sometimes you'll see them hit 2 of your cannons, like multiple turns in a row. But I've been able to launch 2 cannons of my own multiple turns in a row, which is definitely okay. I just wish I was hitting them more, especially the snake lady that you can't see right now because she's hidden by a post. I want her to take extra damage if at all possible. But okay, yeah, I might have jinxed it a little bit. Now we're getting into the real bad RNG where I only get 1 cannon fired this turn and there's nothing I can do about it. Oh well, it's fine. I'm totally happy with this. It's fine. However, once we fire a random number of cannon shots, which should be coming up maybe this turn, maybe next turn, we're going to see a little bit of a cutscene. And the in-game audience is going to start chanting, and I'm going to chant along with them, and I hope you guys will chant along with me as well. We're going to chant Chog, which is spelled C-H-O-G. So yeah, I'm 100% going to chant along, so if you want to just wait for me to do it, you can join in, but I think it should happen after this turn. I am going to fire off 2 cannons. Unless I get horrible RNG. No, we're not. Okay, good. Good. Oh yeah, you're gonna knock back Sophia. At least you didn't knock back one of my units. That's like a 5% chance to happen with each of their attacks. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, here's the cutscene. I'm ready.
I'm ready too.
Chug! 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 That's right, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks too. The main man has decided to show his tentacled glory to our fans at the audience at home. In fact, those with front row seats may even be getting even more front row seats as Chog is literally throwing people from the stands onto the battlefield. I love this game so much. It is So fun. You move here. You're stuck actually. Yeah, I'm a little mad about that, but our objective now is to defeat Captain Leviathan. We got a little bit of bad RNG and she didn't get hit, because she is fairly tanky. One, being a boss, they get a little bit of extra stats. But second off, she is a type of unit called a Gorgon. Gorgons are kind of an equivalent to Cyclopses in terms of the races, and that they're fairly tanky and have a bunch of extra stats in order to make up for it. I'm gonna move you to, I'm not liking where she's moving right now, actually. Yeah, I just really want to beat her up instead of all the minions, but whatever, she's hiding behind them like a coward. So I'll just chase her down and beat up her minions first. Whatever, it's fine. I am seeing Chogs in the audience. Thank you all. God, this is amazing. It's fairly tanky, and while she won't deal as much damage as Helmetor, she does have a thing where every time she's damaged, she has a chance to spawn minions. Like that guy right there. Oh, and this guy too. But, so every minion is a valid target. And so sometimes, and then Helmetor will have the 50-50 to attack her or the minion, which I always want him to attack her because he is my big damage. But we should be able to finish off this turn. Come on, guys, just get one hit. Thank you, Pippi. Good. So we are going to chance again a little bit longer this time because it's time. Are you ready? We're going to summon Chog. Chog! 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 That's right, chat. You have done it. You have summoned the one, the only, the Chog. Okay, I have to focus on the battle now. Okay, cool. Oh, I love this game so much. So, the strategy with this map is to send 4 humans forward. Because if all goal, of which there are 4 tentacles in the way, the humans can almost guarantee, it's like a 99% chance with damage rolls, to take out the tentacle in 1 turn. I think in all my runs, I've only ever seen them not one-round a tentacle a single time. So, hopefully that doesn't happen, but, marathon luck. Maybe it will. Oh, okay. That's tentacle 2. So, the other thing that's happening in this map, as our humans move forward and do some, generic battles, Helmetor has a very, very special mission in this run. And that's because the worst enemy type in the entire game appears in this chapter, and luckily in only this chapter, at least in the main story. They appear a bunch more everywhere else, but in this chapter they are constantly spawning in, 2 at a time, and being just their most annoying selves, because Octoclopses. So let's talk about what they can do. Yeah, it's these little guys. Oh, I hate you two so much. Oh my god, they do it. Okay, I'll explain what they do in just a sec, but they did it. You just have to know that they did it, and I hate it. So, Octoclopses are really squishy, so Helmetor does one-shot them, which is nice. But they have 2 different status effects that they can inflict with every attack that they do. The first is this one. This one is called Confusion, where the question mark flips back and forth on their face. If a unit is confused, they have a chance to consider allies as targets. So if another ally was standing next to Helmetor, there was a 50-50 chance that Helmetor would attack the ally. That's not too bad of a status effect, considering my strategy is to leave Helmetor alone in the back, where there's no allies to hit. The other effect is what happened, 2 turns ago? Oh my god, it happened again. Anger. It's fine. No, I'm normal and happy. It's fine. This effect is called, I think the technical term for it is painting, which is a weird name, but he basically paints my unit red. And when that happens, Helmetor is treated as an enemy unit for my turn, which, 1, means that my allies might attack him, which, again, I leave him behind, so that's not going to happen. But the big thing is that he loses his entire turn. I do not get to move Helmetor, he does not get to attack, he just stands there being pathetic and useless. So it's really, really bad when that happens. And I've already had it happen twice, which is probably worse than average. So, haha, RNG, hooray, I'm fine. but we'll at least be able to take him out here, and until more spawn, it won't happen again. There is also a nice clause in the RNG where it can't happen twice in a row, but if you're really unlucky, it can just happen every other turn for the entire chapter, which I've had that happen close. I think I've had it every other turn until like the very end. That run I was like crying. It was bad. Whatever, we at least have gotten rid of all of the nuisances this run, and Helmator, yes. Okay. So, let's talk about what I'm actually trying to do here. Again, we came here so we can find Yosef's friend, Uvulor. Not Chog, unfortunately. It would be really cool if Chog was Yosef's friend. But no, it's this little guy whose name is Uvulor. Okay, that is one of my DPS units killed. It's fine. Whatever. I'm not mad. Oh, that's 2 of my units killed. This is going really poorly. Marathon luck. Okay. We'll play it where it lies, Squidward. But yeah. So what we need to do in order to get Uvulor to join us is beat him up, because violence is the language of this video game. There isn't like talking. So we just punch people. You move here. You punch a bear. Go. So in order to get Uvulor to take damage, we need to smack open Chog's face a couple times, which will force him to make Uvulor show up, like that. But after we deal damage to Uvulor, we have 1 turn to deal as much damage as possible before Uvulor will retreat, just like he did there. And then I have to do it all over again. So that's a cycle, and optimally, I will want to get a 3 cycle. I highly doubt that's happening, because Horatio and Yosef died on the same turn, which, oof. Like, yeah, this might be one of my worst chapter 3s of all time, but hey, who cares? We're having fun here, and that's what really matters. So, you might have noticed that, again, I did ditch all of my cupcakes, which are the healer class of this game. Oh, Sophia might die here. If she does. Oh, no. Okay. No, it'll be fine. She survived. But, again, I can't heal my units through cupcakes. However, my units aren't completely screwed. There is still a way for me to heal my characters. Okay, he got painted again. Yeah, this RNG is crying on the inside. But the way I heal my units is by leveling them up. So every time a unit attacks, and especially when they get kills, they get a boatload of EXP. And after hitting a certain threshold, they will level up. Leveling up does give like minor amounts of stats, technically, but what really matters is that every time a unit levels up, just like Helmator was showing off for us, thank you, buddy, for showing that off, they will get fully healed. And so by predicting about when my units are going to level up, and by trying to feed units who are about to level up extra kills, I can keep my units healed up as much as possible. Sometimes it's not possible, like, with Horatio and Yosef both dying, but fine, whatever. But yeah, this is going a little bit slow, so I don't really have that much else to talk about. So Maddie, up until Uvulor makes a noise that sounds a little bit like this, please take it away with whatever donations or props you want to read.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Well, as a reminder, you are watching Midwest Speedfest Fall Frenzy, a 4-day charity speedrunning marathon in support of One Iowa. You can donate directly to One Iowa by typing !donate in chat, or by going directly to donate.midwestspeedfest.com. And don't forget to put your donation towards one of our great incentives, like the Splatoon bonus game. I believe we only have $143 left on that incentive, which, given the number of people in chat, doesn't seem to be that much if everyone lifts together. I do have a couple donations though for you. We have Jim the Tortoise with $25, wishing you luck. Let RNGesus be kind. This was before this boss fight happened.
That's the name of that tortoise. He's sleeping right next to me. I hope he doesn't wake up, because my mic will catch it if he bonks on the glass. Thank you so much, my pet tortoise, for that donation.
And I also have $5 from Joseph H. who says, Turtle Run is my brother, and he is simply amazing. Video games done right. And
Thanks, man.
There's been a lot of comments about the positive energy that you're giving off here, and it has been an entertaining run so far. So thank you for that as well from me.
Of course. This game is entertaining to me too. I'm just glad to play it. So, okay, until that happens, it's not entertaining anymore, and I'm sad now.
Yeah, we'll keep it entertaining. The RNG might not be working for you, but I believe in you. You got this.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. That was a 4 cycle, so not the worst. But man, yeah, that was a really, really hard chapter 3. That's just how the game goes sometimes. Again, we lost 2 of our units before even starting the cycles.
Just fine.
Like the narrator just said, well, that's just fine. We'll play it where it lies, and hopefully we can make up some time later on by getting some more good RNG juice, because that's how RNG works. Now that I've gotten the bad stuff out of the way, it has to all be good, right? Right?
Of course, that's how RNG works.
So I did mention that I am going to get moved once in the middle of a run, usually between chapters 3, which I just finished, and chapter 6. The bear will take his big hand down, grab the base, and move it. It's dependent on how long you've spent in the game, and since I've spent quite a while, hopefully it'll be soon, because I don't like this spawn point. This spawn point is bad. Please, game, move me to another map, move me to another place. Please, 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 please. It's not happening. Okay, whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. I'm having a fine time. This is marathon luck, man. Of course it had to happen as soon as I started up the marathon, but whatever. We are now moving on to chapter 4. So, in the lore, we have just picked up Uvulor in the cutscene. Yosef eats Uvulor, and now Uvulor is Yosef's parasite instead of Chog's. So, well, Uvulor's a little mad. I can understand. I would want to be attached to Chog too, that big, beautiful, sexy tentacle man. Uvulor is now attached to Yosef and tells Yosef that his other eye is at Mount Olympus, which is always at the top left corner of all 5 maps, which is why I wanted to be moved so much, because right now I'm at the bottom right corner of the map. Though it took a while to get up here, but here we are, Mount Olympus, where we're going to cross the Rainbow Bridge and nothing bad will happen, psych. Hi, look, it's the guy who I definitely winked at about appearing later on, Jerkimedes. Jerkimedes has decided that he wants to borrow the bridge for a little bit. But of course, we need the bridge so we can continue the quest. And so we ask Jerkimedes what he will do, or what we need to do in order to get the bridge back. And Jerkimedes wants a plucky, young, lovable orphan! So, luckily, this world is just weird enough to have an orphan store. Here we are at Randall's Discount Orphanisms, where we will be picking up a plucky, young, lovable orphan for Jerkimedes to love as his own. We got 5 enemy spawns. That's not the greatest, but not the worst. So I'll take it. Also, there is a 50% off deal right now, which is really convenient. Maybe we'll just pick up 2 orphans for the price of 1. Who knows? This game's humor, again, just phenomenal. I love this game to death. And I'm also going to love some of these orphans to death because they're trying to kill us first. Let it be known, they tried to kill me first. This is self-defense. Legally. Let's talk a little bit about the orphans, because we now have a bunch of different unit types appearing, some of which will definitely appear throughout the rest of the game and make my life even harder throughout the rest of the game. So, first off, this guy, the mushroom. Mushrooms deal AoE poison damage, like, you see right now with all the poison on the ground. And literally all my units except Horatio got poisoned. So, mushrooms are very annoying. Luckily, they count as helmet units, because that big hat thing, it counts as a helmet. And if you remember, I gave Horatio a helmet smasher, I gave Pippi a helmet smasher, and Helmetor, despite, being a helmetite, actually betrays his own people and comes equipped with a helmet smasher. So between the 3 of them, we just obliterate that mushroom. Where are we? Say goodbye to the mushroom. He doesn't matter anymore. We might see one later, actually. Maybe I shouldn't have thrown that so far away. Oh, who cares? Next up, we have a couple of humans in the battle, who are... Actually, I want to move you down here. Yeah. So who are this guy who is an archer, this girl, Huntress, as well as this guy, Aquadad, who has throwing weapons. Again, I don't typically use Yosef's throwing weapons to try and get stuns, but the AI always does. And the AI seems to get really lucky with it all the time. So I hate this guy and want to murder him as fast as possible. But then the last, ooh, you're gonna move here. The last, no, there are two more enemy types, sorry. First off, this guy, who is a robot. Robots have two forms of attack. One is from melee range, which we're gonna see here. They like punch you with both fists, and that has a chance to stun, as well as it deals electricity damage. You move here, 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 here. Okay, cool. Their other attack is an arc lightning that comes from range and bounces between units. So that can deal a lot of damage if my units are in improper position. So whenever there's a robot on the screen, I need to be a lot more careful about what I'm doing with my squad. But luckily the robot's gone. So all we need to do now is take out this archer and we can get this troll. So if a Cyclops is like a bus, then the troll is like a minivan. So while you won't be able to see a bus going like 60, 70, 80 on a highway, you might see a minivan doing that. And while a bus will hit you and run you over, a minivan might do the same, it just won't hurt as much. The other thing that makes trolls different is, like a minivan, they are clean. Well, at least they can be cleaned. No matter how much juice or chocolate or chicken nuggets you spill in your minivan, your mom will always try her best to clean it up. Thank you so much, Mom. And in the same way, trolls will heal a little bit at the end of any turn. So between that and their relative tankiness, they're pretty tough to take out. And so because of that, we leave it alive, and that's actually the orphan that we are going to bring to Jerkomedes. Or it would be if this little plucky fella here, Cornelius Happy Days, didn't decide to take us up on that 2-for-1 special. So he will also be coming along. And he's actually the only good orphan ever in the entire ever of anything. As a matter of fact, one of the lines of dialogue for the orphans in that chapter that I skipped is, and I quote, "I did not choose the orphan life." Which, yes, means exactly what you think it means. But it turns out Jerkomedes actually wasn't happy with Cornelius Happy Days. And it turns out Jerkomedes wanted, again, I quote, "a fresh orphan." Which, again, means exactly what you think it means. This is the funniest chapter in the entire game. I love this game so much. Please don't net me. Oh, of course you netted me, you jerk. It's fine. So we got a relatively high spawn. You can have as few as 2 units on this map, but as many as 6. So it's not the worst in the world, but yeah, this is quite a few units. As well as 2 Cyclopses, who again, big tanky buses. But luckily, we did get at least a spot of good RNG. In the previous map, there's about a 10% chance that this type of unit will spawn. And if it does, we recruit it. But it didn't, so we now had to bet that it would appear in this chapter, and thank God it did. There's about a 90% chance that it appears in this chapter. And this unit is called a Pixie. Pixies are the glass cannon race of this game. So they don't have a lot of health, they don't have a lot of defense, and that's about it. That's about their only downsides ever. You can see why we want one. Just because they're squishy, it means that there's a risk-reward mechanic, yes, but if you've ever, seen a speedrun before, speedrunners take risk-reward mechanics and go, I think I'll take all of the reward and none of the risk, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. Well, there's still some risk because RNG, but it's not as bad as it could be. So with this map, we do have a Pixie on our hands, and so I need to defeat every enemy except the Pixie. And this guy. This guy is like a weird boss type unit with a special property where he turns my units into orphans by attacking them. Again, this game is weird, but it's fine. So we don't actually need to defeat that guy. And then we don't want to defeat the Pixie. But this archer has to go. These 2 Cyclopses have to go. And right now they have a lot of health, which means it might take a bit, but it's fine. Oh, Pippi's also dead. Great. No, perfect. God, this game could just screw you over with orange. I totally moved you. Helmet. I messed up there. That's my bad. He just doesn't do any DPS this turn. Oh well, whatever. I also need to get someone on this archer, actually. I kind of left them out there to dry. My mind is turning into spaghetti after that chapter 3, which is not good. You need a brain that is made out of brain juice and not spaghetti. What are brains like? I mean flesh, but like gray matter? Is that what? Whatever. So yeah, I need my brain, which unfortunately has decided to completely shut off in order to actually, do strategy. But it's fine. We'll keep going through. We at least have the archer down, so all we need to do is take out these 2 Cyclopses. I do really want to meet the Splatoon incentive. So until I defeat these 2 Cyclopses, Maddie, do you have anything to tell us? Maybe some donations for Splatoon? Please.
I do, in fact. I have 2.
Yes!
I have $50 from someone called Betty Yank, who says, "What's this? A donation for Splatoon? Who could have predicted this?"
Me! I predicted it!
with your very wrinkly brain, yes. Still working. But I also have $15 from Jordan A, who asks, "Are there any 2-headed heroes in this game?" Dank Bank represent. Good luck, Turtle.
Shoutouts to Jord. There aren't any 2-headed heroes or units. However, there are units that you get 2 of for the price of 1. We won't see any of them because they're weak as heck. Hence why you get 2 of them for the price of 1. It's because they are bad and suck. But there are a bunch of equipable heads. So one of those might appear 2-headed, but I don't think I've seen one. Sorry, Jord. But here, we did manage to finish off this chapter and get ourselves a pixie. So I described the downsides of the pixie a little earlier. They're very squishy, and that's it. So the upsides of the pixie. They have normal movement, so 3 movement. So they're faster than Cyclopses, and they only take up 1 space. So in both those ways, they're kind of similar to humans. However, they deal about as much damage as a Cyclops. Their DPS is insane. As well, their DPS is an AoE fireball. So not only is it more damage than a Cyclops, or about as much damage as a Cyclops, it can do more damage if enemies are clustered together. So just really good. In addition, despite them being, really squishy, they have one of the highest evasion stats in the entire game. So even though they don't have a lot of health, it's really hard to hit them. Like, pixies are just so good. And that is why, yeah, there are no units with 2 heads. We're going to give it a shoot to it, though. We're actually going to need to equip you with a small shield. That's fine. Yeah, but we're even going to give our pixie the hero buff. So, like I mentioned earlier, that increases all of its stuff. That increases its evasion, that increases its health, increases its movement, increases how much love I feel towards it, just everything. So unlike the cupcake, we really love pixies. And so some runs you'll even get 2, which, I would love to have happened in the marathon run, but at least we didn't get 0, which I would have hated to have happened in a marathon run. There are backup strats that I know for both having 2 pixies and 0 pixies, but 1's average. So yeah, we at least got that, and we are now going to return up here to Mount Olympus. Jerkomedes put the bridge back now that we gave him an orphan, even if it wasn't a fresh orphan. And so, we are going to see the pixie in action. Are you guys ready? Are you? Because I'm actually, hold on, I started that a little too early. I'm actually not ready. Because there's no pixie at all in this map. And that's because Chapter 5 is one of the chapters of all time. So, there are 7 chapters in the main story, and of them, almost all of them have 2 maps per chapter. The only exceptions are Chapter 2, where I watched a bunch of cupcakes run around and did all the lore really fast. Again, I hope you remembered that for the quiz. But that one only had 1 chapter, so that was really nice. Then there's Chapter 5. Chapter 5 has not 1, not 2, not 3, not 5, but 4 whole maps that I have to complete. And the reason it has so many is because the first 3 of them are all stealth maps. So, yeah, if you've ever played a video game with stealth, you know why stealth is bad, but it gets worse in Pit People. And that's because of the 3 maps that are stealth, there is only 1 single turn that I will have to deal with any meaningful RNG. And now you might be thinking, Turtle. Usually speedrunners like to have sections with no RNG. That's called consistency, and that's good for runs. And well, yeah, you're right, it's consistent. You know what it also is? Boring. Oh my god, I've done this section so many times this exact same way, and I'm going to do it so many more times in this exact same way. The spice of Pit People really is the RNG. And so, walking through this chapter the same way every single time is just like, bleh. You know, we at least will pick up this key card on map 1. It wastes a few turns, but it'll save more on map 2. But yeah, will I continue to do some boring movement and watch some boring cutscenes and generally take a nap? Maddie, you have like all the time in the world. I will want to interrupt when I get hit by a laser, but until then, feel free to just say whatever you want.
All right. Well, as a reminder, we are getting down to the wire on meeting that bonus game incentive for Splatoon. I see King Joe in chat there. He's ready. He's ready to go. And Splatoon, any percent, is a fantastic run. Like, I mean, we've talked about the music, and I'm sure you're all familiar with, being a kid and a squid, but let's see that happen very quickly in succession. I, for one, really want to see that game get met, and I know everyone else behind the scenes really wants to see that get met, not only because it's raising money for a great cause, but because it extends the marathon. We get to see more games. So, if you were waiting, if you're trying to make me nervous, you've succeeded. But get those donations in by typing !donate or head directly to donate.midwestspeedfest.com, and don't forget to add the incentive to your donation. Otherwise, we don't know if you wanted it to count or not.
Also, stay hydrated, by the way. Okay, I'll interrupt you a little bit early here, actually.
Okay, go for it.
There is slight RNG. You can dodge this. However, one of the only good things about Chapter 5 is that between every single map, you're just healed to full. So I can just tank that damage boost and run straight on by and get to skip a little bit of a walk around. In addition, because I grabbed the key on map 1, I don't have to do what would normally be 3 puzzles to hit 3 switches. Instead, I can go over talk to my good friend Yoked the Gnome, who will launch me to the end. This is, in a casual run, one of the longest maps in the entire game. So even though it's, super boring and slow, I at least get to skip map 2. So that's nice of the developers, I guess. But yeah, until an enemy appears, there's still more boring time. So please, more Splatoon donations. Get Splatoon met, please. Thank you.
All right. Well, we have $10 from Nick K, who says, "Great job, Pete. Loving the run." Appreciate that. Every donation does count.
Thanks, Nick.
And I believe that puts us around $60 left to meet the Splatoon. So we are super close. I believe in y'all, chat. But since we have a minute here, just to say, if you're enjoying the marathon, please follow in Midwest Speed Fest. We're a Minnesota-based organization that has been hosting speedrun marathons since 2015. Every spring, we partner with VGMCon to raise money for their chosen charity. And we also host online events like the one you're watching now. So far, we've raised over $60,000 for various causes, and we hope to see that number continue to grow with your support.
Okay. That is the only instance of RNG in all of the chapters. This enemy is Hall Minotaur. He's a jerk, and a Cyclops, which means he has a chance to knock us back, which you might have seen Hall Minotaur doing a couple times throughout the run. You're supposed to lure him around that laser maze, but that's really slow. And since I'm so fast in that chapter, I can just kind of run up to him, hope he doesn't knock me back if I do have to just restart the map, which sucks. It only takes a minute, but it sucks. But we didn't have it happen, so thank God. We're through the stealth segment. Chapter 5 stealth is over, and we are actually now onto one of the most enjoyable maps in the entire game. Chapter 5, map 4. So there are a couple things that make this map really interesting and enjoyable. First off, these launch pads. Let slow units like Helmetor just yeet across the room. So instead of having to walk forever because he only has 2 movement, he is now already on the enemy's side. Second thing, this wind. Every 3 turns, this will happen. Every ally and enemy on the entire map will get blown a random number of tiles in a random direction. Actually, that was really bad wind. I'm not... it's marathon luck. Whatever, it's fine. But that can get you out of a jam, or it can get you into a jam. It's just really chaotic, and it really helps with the sense that I like of this game, where I have to figure out a new strategy all the time with this map. It's just constantly flowing from, okay, I'm going to do this, to, oh, something changed. Now I'm going to try this strat. oh, something else. Now I'm going to try a new strat. And it just makes it really, fluid, dynamic, and interesting. The third thing that makes this map really fun for me is the objective of the map. So we are currently trying to escape. Yosef has retrieved his eye, and now we just need to get out. Because this is like a maximum security space prison thing. I don't know. But the exit door up here at the very top of the screen has been blocked off by the Sphinx. Luckily for us, this is an open air loading bay with, the ground down below. So we can jump out. Well, if we jump out right now, we'll kind of all, splat into the ground and die. But there is a way around that. Luckily for us, OSHA does have a statement saying that all employees who work within an open air loading area must carry a parachute on them at all times. In addition, OSHA states that all units carrying parachutes must drop their parachutes on the ground when killed. I don't know why OSHA had that clause about being killed in there, but you know what? Who cares? It's really, really helpful for our case because we can defeat units and get their parachutes onto our units. So we have 5 units. We will need 5 parachutes, which means we most likely need to defeat 5 enemies. I say most likely because there is a rare glitch that can happen where a parachute just won't be picked up off the ground. It's really, really rare. I don't know what causes the glitch. If you do, please tell me. Oh my god, it would be so useful. But in the meantime, we'll just do what we can with the parachutes that we get from 5 enemies. Actually, Pixie also needs a parachute, despite being a flying unit. Don't question the game's logic. I don't question it, and the game won't question it. So, you shouldn't either. Actually, you move here. You have a parachute from here. Okay. So we have 2 parachutes now, 3 parachutes now, and all we need now is Horatio and Pippi to get a parachute. She's right next to one, but it is a wind turn. I know that because it is consistently every 3 turns. So she's gonna get blown, hopefully not too far away. All knockback in this game has random elements to it. Oh, she's knocked just far away enough that it makes me sad. Whatever, it's fine. So we'll beat up this guy, who will drop a parachute for Horatio. Next turn, we'll get Sophia her parachute up here. And after that, we will be ready to jump. Whew. So this has gone a little poorly. We did get a maximum enemy spawn. That's like the 800th chapter in a row that we've gotten a maximum enemy spawn, but it's fine. RNGesus does what RNGesus will. Hopefully that means we'll get some minimum enemy spawns in chapter 6, which is the scariest chapter of the run, so minimum enemy spawns would be really nice, but we have all the parachutes. And as soon as we grab them, of course, this giant floating baby head comes in to block our way. And I call it a giant floating baby head because when you damage it, it makes baby noises, which I'll shut up for a sec so you can hear. We didn't one-round it? Oh, come on, guys. You can usually one-round it, but it's probably about 85% chance to do that with all 5 units, but whatever. We'll just finish off this turn. Goodbye, Marshall. Get out of our way. Even though you're a baby, I'm still going to beat you up. And we are now done with Chapter 5. And that means we're on to Chapter 6, which means I shouldn't really take that breath of fresh air because Chapter 6 has some of the scariest moments in the entire run. But we almost certainly got moved on the overworld map, so I'm also going to have to take a moment to just figure out where the heck I am. Luckily, at least if you get moved at this point in the run, you don't get to watch the cutscene of the bear plucking the city up and moving it and saying some quippy dialogue. So where are we? Something about to south of us? Oh.
Figure that out when I remind people here that as you're donating, don't forget to both click the Add Incentives button, and then when you pick your incentive, you also need to select Add. We've had a couple come through that we're not going to any particular incentive, and well, while we appreciate the money and it's going towards a great cause, we're also trying to meet that Splatoon incentive. I might be sounding like a broken record here, but apologies.
Oh my god. This map is horrible. Wow. Hey, this is the first map is really, really bad for the early game, and this map is really, really bad for the late game. Are you kidding? Where is the opening? How do I get south? Okay, at the very least, we are going to get a boatload of money. which will be good because money lets us buy more nitro. If you can't tell, I like using nitro. Nitro makes you go fast, but nitro costs 150 gold, and since I'm not doing any of the side quests, I'm not getting a lot of that bonus gold that you normally get while playing Making Casually. So there are streaks of gold on the overall map that I'm picking up, as well as certain spots that I only found like 2 of them only on this movement section that are like geysers of gold if you hit them with the cannon. So we'll have a little bit of gold, able to buy more nitro for the final chapter, which, thank God, I've been so money starved. This run has just been like, just bad RNG. Like, this is marathon luck, man. Oh my goodness. But hey, after chapter 5, which, you know, is full of stealth, really, really boring, guess what the developers decided to put in for the first map of chapter 6? You get 3 guesses. The first 2 don't count. Did you guess that it would be another stealth chapter? If you did, congratulations! Your prize is another stealth chapter, or another stealth map. It's not a full chapter, it's just this map, and even then, it's not as bad as I'm kind of joking about. You can make this into a combat map if you want it to be, but I don't want it to be. That's slow. I don't want to fight a bunch of people. I just want to avoid moving near any of these bases, because if you move near any of them, it knocks over, and all the guards get alerted, but if you don't, which I've successfully done, navigating and weaving my way through, we can come up here and, oh, look who it is! It's our friend Jerkamedes! So it turns out, Yosef's Eye has told us that the only other spaceship in existence ever, probably, is owned by Jerkamedes. The same guy who we've been, you know, meeting and helping throughout the entire run. He is having a spa day and really does not want to be disturbed right now, so he is at least vindictive enough to blow up his guards since they didn't catch us, but we do have to fight him. And you'll notice I'll fight him in a 1v1. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, it makes doing the stealth segment faster. 2 is because of Jerkamedes has a couple of unique mechanics. One, like you just saw, every time he takes damage, he teleports away a random spot in a huge AoE. Or he'll teleport to the exact same spot and not even have the teleport animation. That's rare. But if you have a weak unit next to him and a strong unit as well, then the weak unit might hit first, he teleports away, and your strong unit can't do anything. So instead, we just send up one strong unit to beat him up. The other thing that makes Jerkamedes really annoying is that he causes confusion. The same status that Octoclops has caused, not the worst one, but the one that makes you hit allies. So sending one unit up means that even if I'm confused, I'm only gonna hit him. So we had 4 attacks. Usually you can get him in 3, but we just got bad damage rolls. Whatever, it's fine. I've already had so much bad RNG that I'm not fazed by it anymore. And we are now chasing Jerkamedes home. He is running out of magic juice, which means he can't teleport, which is completely a lie. He will be teleporting so much throughout the rest of the run. But whatever, it's fine. He can't long distance teleport anymore. So we'll chase him to his house, where we, the good guys and heroes of the story, are going to beat him up and destroy a bunch of his stuff in order to get him to give us a spaceship in order for us to save a kid. Like, it is. We're doing this for a good cause. Not for, like a one Iowa cause, saving the entire state of Iowa, but we are doing this to save a child, right? So he should just give us a spaceship, because we're the good guys, right? Right? No, unfortunately, he's going to be a jerk and give us more issues. And so, Chapter 6, Map 2. The scariest moment in the entire run is right now. Depending on how many enemies spawn in, I might cry. Okay. Jerkamedes can spawn in between 4 and 7 of these robots, who we have already discussed, right? I mentioned that they deal electricity damage, and that is the elemental system in this game. So there are a bunch of different elements. We only see a couple of them throughout the run because most of our units are humans or cyclopses. Where do I have you move? Oh god. This is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Right, so pixies, for example. Pixies deal fire damage. And fire damage will be super effective and deal bonus damage to units with the fur type. For example, trolls that I mentioned earlier. Trolls have the fur type, so pixies deal bonus damage against them. Wow, that is some chain lightning. I hate you, robots. And I hate the robots even more because pixies are weak to electricity. And robots deal electricity damage. So, we got really lucky in terms of my attack RNG there, but when Pixie takes damage from electricity, it takes nearly double damage. So, despite being a really cool glass cannon unit, it 100% loses, well, it's still a cannon, I guess, but it becomes even more fragile when there is electricity around. I'll actually set up a really good chain here. Okay, it only happened once, and the Pixie dodged. So, we are not out of the woods yet. We're not out of the woods yet, but if I'm able to destroy all of these machines up here, which, please, 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 oh no. This one machine is left standing, so the robots will still have one more chance to attack. Okay, the AI is going to be a little nice to me and only get one hit. We're done with the robots. As soon as I can destroy this machine here, which, okay, actually isn't guaranteed, but like it's basically like 90, 100% completely guaranteed. Please, guys, please just hit it, please just hit it. Thank you, Pixie. Okay, I can take a huge deep breather there because the robots now just despawn forever. So that is wave 1 completed. The way this chapter works is there are 3 waves that I will need to complete. The first one spawns in between 4 and 7 robots, and I have to destroy either half of the robots rounded down or Jerkimedes. So you'd think that attacking Jerkimedes alone would be faster because he's just one guy. But it's not that simple, not nearly, specifically because Jerkimedes teleports away. And so it can be hard to get consistent damage against him. But, and especially with robots, I do want to destroy the robots because they're scary as heck. But yeah, it's a condition that I'll have to think about whether I want to destroy half the normal enemies or Jerkimedes in any given run. Right now, I am leaning a little bit towards the enemies. He teleported really far away. But wave 2 is humans. So humans are not scary at all. We've seen plenty of humans throughout the run. They don't have any elemental affinities. And so while a bunch of them did spawn in, more than average, we spawned in 6, which between 4 and 7 can spawn. It's, we'll beat them up real quick and just be on our way. Toodaloo. And that will get us to destroy the machine. So every wave is, again, defeat half the enemies or Jerkimedes, and then you need to destroy 4 machines, which I have, with this round being a little safer, I moved all my units into place so they're already right next to the machines. We just destroy these 4, and then we will be on to wave 3. So, of course you stunned my Pixie, you clown, jerk, evil, wizard, enemy, who I hate. Whatever, it's fine. We'll at least destroy, 3 of the machines in one turn. That's pretty good. Next turn, we'll destroy this last machine, and move on to wave 3, which... So I've already mentioned a lot of the units that we'll see in wave 3. Unlike waves 1 and 2, wave 1 was only words. How do I use them? Send in help or therapy or both. Why not? Right. Wave 1 was only robots. Wave 2 was only humans. Wave 3 has a mix of unit types. So first off, Cyclopses, the tank, one of the strongest units in the game. Second off, Pixies, the glass cannon, one of the strongest units in the game. 3, Trolls, who heal themselves and are generally one of the strongest units in the game. 4, Mascots. So let's talk about those a little bit, because they are interesting and annoying. Mascots are not one of the strongest units in the game by themselves. What they are is units who deal buffs to their allies. So any enemy standing next to one of these mascots will have their attack and defense and, well, not health, but like basically everything else buffed. So, wow, that's really annoying. In addition, something that we actually might see coming up here, because boy howdy is this game just really being rude to me with RNG right now. Mascots, when they are defeated, explode violently. It is insane how much damage they do. So Helmetor and Pixie deal about teens damage, like 14, 15 on a good hit. Mascots, when they explode violently, they will deal... Oh god, where's the best place to position? We're going to position here. That's... yeah, fine. You beat them up, Reese's Puffs, Reese's Puffs. Pixie, or mascots on explosion, deal about 50 damage on every tile around them. It is an absolute death sentence if my units get hit by a mascot explosion. So, oh, my Pixie actually just died. That's bad. But at least we are on to the final section where we just have to destroy the consoles. So it's not the end of the run. We're just gonna have to get some lucky hits on these consoles here. But yeah, generally you never want to attack a mascot with a melee unit, because if they explode, your melee unit is dead. Luckily, pixies have, good AoE, ranged attacks. So we actually didn't manage to defeat the mascot at all, so we didn't see it. Maybe we'll see it in the next chapter, but yeah, mascots are super dangerous, both because of the buffs they provide and because of the explosion. So that wave being mascots and cyclopses and pixies and trolls is really hard. The devs knew what they were doing with all of that. And so you can see I lost 2 of my units right there at the very end, but we still made our way through. I managed to avoid the enemies enough to destroy the consoles. And hey, we have Jerkaminis now. It turns out his hat was actually making him an evil wizard of pure evilness, or a jerk wizard of pure evilness. Now that we knocked his hat off, he is a jerk wizard of moderate evilness. Hooray! Yep. So because of that, he will let us use his spaceship in order to save our son. Good job for being only moderately evil there, Jerkamides. And that brings us to, I need to go down here. That brings us into the final chapter of the run. The bear.
You have a little bit of time for donations then?
Yeah, sure. Give us a couple. Thank you.
I have $10 from Nick K, who says, "Man, this Fire Emblem playthrough looks weird." And I have $5 from SSK, who asks, "Let's get this bonus game met. Splatoon has had a ton of innovation lately. Let's see it in support of One Iowa." Agreed.
Hell yeah. I love Splatoon so much, like to the point where I actually run an online like D&D sort of thing that's based on Splatoon. Hopefully some of the people from RE are watching. If you are, shout outs to you. But like, I need to see this Splatoon run, you guys. I super tempted to stall at the end of the run, but I can't do that legally because that would be rude. But come on, guys, you can get the run in. Please do it. It's so close. All you have left is Chapter 7. 2 maps to go before that has to be met. Okay, donations? Okay, crowd? 2 maps left. Because we are getting up using the very spaceship that is we almost destroyed last chapter, the Jerk Dome, will get us up to the bear. And so, by the way, they have plushies of the bear. Look at him. Or her. Or it. There are 2 bears in the game, and I think they're never actually explicitly gendered, but they're like in a relationship, and I think one of them is slightly feminine and slightly masculine coded, but I can't remember which is which. So, he, she, they, it, whatever you want to call it. We're on it. And so here we are, and this is the reason, hands down, why pixies are the best unit class for speedrunning in the game. Not only, super glass cannon, all the other things we talked about, but I mentioned that pixies deal fire damage super effective against fur. Oh yeah, we're on a giant space bear who's covered in fur. And this fur is like all like super blocking my path. So I need the pixie to destroy it really well, which again, the pixie also has AoE on its fire damage. So a good lucky pixie shot can destroy multiple fur in 1 turn, which is incredibly good. Are you gonna be able to body block me? You are. Ah, you jerk. The AI really loves to body block you in here, so I'm trying to find a way around. And by the AI, I mean the enemy AI. Because you'll notice, we also have some helpful, friendly AI. And by helpful, I mean, oh my god, they're so useless. The AI, the friendly AI, is like completely pacifistic, basically. Like, they just do not do anything. Okay, they technically do, but they are scared of fire, they are scared of bombs, they are scared of bear traps, they are scared of everything. And so, like, look at these guys. What are you doing? What are you doing, Shadow the Hedgehog? You are not helping. You're standing back here. It's whatever. Elbows, you too. You're on my list, buddy. You do have an ally Pixie who can be helpful, but that's optional because RNG. But hey, we do have a route opened up already for our Pixie to start moving through. So because the end objective of this map is right up here. So again, there's a bunch more fur in the way, which is why we want to get our pixie up to it so fast. And so, yeah, again, pixie has 4 movement because hero buff, and deals extra damage because hero buff, and is just generally really, really good. So we have now slipped it behind enemy lines. Hopefully they will decide to aggro on my other units here, so pixie can run forward. And that's fine, whatever. Only one enemy attacking him. There's another thing that I should mention, which is the bombs. So you can see right here, that's a bomb. Bombs are... You here, you here. Bombs have a random chance to spawn every time you destroy a fur. And bombs deal like 50 damage. They're the same as mascots when they explode. They deal about 50 damage on every tile around them, which is super duper dangerous. So I will be avoiding those like the plague, which the AI will as well. But the fire deals like 5 damage. The AI should really just walk on it. I'm really mad at the AI, especially this run after all the bad luck. Like, you'd think the AI would decide to give me a break, but no, never. Oh well. Pixie's up here, and so now we can get into what really defines the last chapter, and that is doing math. I'm going to do some hardcore math in order to finish off this run. And that's because of the randomness with attacking. So all I want to do, all I care about, 0 exceptions, is attacking this star. Okay, 1 exception. I want to keep my other units alive. And Pippi is actually really low, so that's scary. But I really just want this pixie to hit the star with everything it does. Little bit math, RNG, it's fine. I'm having a good time. Actually, I am. But so what I'm trying to do is get my pixie into a position where it has the highest possible odds of attacking the star. So, for example, from right here, the odds are 1 in 4. From here, the odds are 1 in 5. So I'm going to position my unit, my pixie. Oh, wait. Now that's a 1 in 4. Have to do some recalculation. Yeah, let's actually place the pixie right here. I think that's better in the long term. Yes. Okay. So with that math, oh, Pippi is dead, 100%. She has 1 health left and is on a bomb. So, 07 Pippi, you've served me well, but not well enough apparently. Oh, that's pretty bad, but yeah. Usually, you want all 5 of your units alive, obviously, because if you do manage to complete this map, everyone will be fully healed. So if you can just keep them barely alive, that counts, but she got stunned and I could not get her to safety there. So we are down to 4 units because, man, this marathon luck is just some marathon luck. One of the marathon lucks of all time. Oh my god. Like, look at the stuns are such a low chance from throwing enemies, but I keep getting stunned. It happened to Pippi last turn. It's happening to Helmator this turn. And the star is still over half health. Let's sigh. Marathon luck, man. I literally can't do anything about this. Laugh it off. You can always laugh it off. So you're gonna move here. You're gonna move here. Go ahead. Sorry, don't want to interrupt you, but yeah. If there's anything you need to say.
I have $20 from Bungie to the Tree, who says, "Let's get inky and get Splatoon on this marathon." Agreed as well, and thank you very much for that donation.
Please. Actually, think of it like this. The RNG of this game is extending my run. It really wants you guys to meet that incentive. Whether it has to make me really sad and make everything hard for me, the game itself wants Splatoon, so do it. Do it, please! 1 map left after this hit.
We're pushing hard. I believe in everyone out there in chat. And, you know, this has been a fantastic run. If you think this is even worth $1 or $2 of your money to be this entertained, why don't you put it to a good cause?
Yes, please. So here we are at the final map. We got 5 enemy spawns. That's better than average. You can get 6 or 7 in really bad occasions, but without Pippi, we are in a little bit of dire straits. We are down to 4 units left. Luckily, I don't actually need to fight basically anyone. So while there is a bunch of fur still in my way, there are a couple of unique gimmicks to this map that make it so that I can with luck, please game, just blitz straight to the end. So, first off, the number of enemies that spawned is kind of low, which is great. I like not having a bunch of people in my way. That bomb is actually fine, I think, okay? But after turn 3, there's going to be an event that is consistent. It will always happen after turn 3. And what it does is it spawns some more enemies back here, which, well, whatever, I don't care about them. We're not going to fight them anyways. But it turns on the lawnmowers. Here they come. So what these do, they're on fixed paths, and I've memorized them. So these will knock back all enemies in their path and remove all fur. So while this enemy is going to move in and body block this path again, this top path is now completely open. And hey look, I've already positioned my super fast, super strong Pixie. Just blitz on through. So by utilizing the lawnmowers, I do have a fairly consistent way to move upwards and towards our final objective of the run, which is not the star, despite what the target tells you. The game lies to you all the time, by the way. Like, the narrator is the main villain in the giant space bear. Like, super duper unreliable narration here, buddy. But we're gonna move you here, I think, and you come here, and you come here. What are you doing, Yosef? Oh, you're getting slowed? No, that's fine. Whatever. So yeah, all we need to do is actually hit this fur. And again, Pixie can one-shot the fur and does have AoE attacks. So I just need to get lucky. I mean, that's all this run has been so far, is just a bunch of RNG checks. But this is the final big RNG check. Please don't bloody. Okay, I'm doing this for my cousin, who is in chat and asked me to talk about Troll Moms. Let's talk about Troll Moms. They are one of the units of all time. They are really annoying and I hate them. They take up 3 spaces on the map as well as 3 spaces in your party. And they're kind of like a raid boss of sorts. So they're really big, really, really high HP. And also, they spawn in these little minion dudes. Yeah, these little guys. Fashion victim. You're going to be a victim of something else if you keep spawning in here. But yeah, so they're really annoying to deal with, and that's why this one is, the final boss of the game. However, they are also considered fur units. And since they're really big, they're also pretty weak to AoE damage. I happen to have an AoE fire damage unit, right? But I don't actually want to fight the final boss because it's optional. All I need to do is hit this. So actually, from this base, we have a 1 in 4 chance to just end the run. So if you want to get a donation for Splatoon, and yes, you do want to get a donation for Splatoon, you need to do it now, because I might end it right here. 25% chance. Come on, RNGesus.
I do have an update, and I'm going to get hyped for this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
We have Bahamut X with $1,000.
Yeah.
Who has a bit of a comment here, and I'm going to be happy to read that off. He says, "When I found out One Isle was charity for this marathon, it made me so happy a charity from my home state was chosen, especially with how depressing my state is becoming in many aspects, including LGBTQ rights, especially transgender rights. I have heard of families who have had to move out from Iowa so their trans kids can get the care they need. I hope with this donation, we can get Iowa back on the right track to make my state more welcoming again." And with that, we did meet Splatoon, and we also are going to roll that over into what was going to be the bonus incentive past this to upgrade Metroid Dread to hard mode. Thank you so much, Bahamut X. And with that, GG's on the final boss there.
Oh, the run isn't over, by the way. Sorry, I should have mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry. I was so hyped for that observation. There is still a little bit of movement here. This is the intro. What the lore happens is we get a wish from a speckled horse who is not a giraffe, and we time travel back to the intro, which I skipped, so we can save our son from ever getting kidnapped in the first place. We can rescue all our friends, and time is actually in 3, 2, 1, now. That's about a 117 even. Again, I messed up my splits, but whatever, it's fine. That's, considering how absolutely brutal I felt about all the RNG, that's not all that bad of a time. 4 minutes under my estimate, so... Okay. Oh, the run is over. That was so much fun, even though it was really hard, and I got like the worst RNG I feel like I've had in even my practice runs, which all sucked. But we're done. So with that...
GG.
Thank you. With that, shoutouts. Shoutouts to Will Stamper, whose voice I have been talking over basically the entire time, including at the end there where it, messes up because I'm going too fast. Your dialogue is great. This game is great. And also, shout out to the entire Behemoth team. Their games are hilarious and amazing. I love this game so much. And again, they are coming out with Alien Hominid Invasion on November 1st. That's like super close, and I'm super excited for that. Shoutouts as well to the Ori and the Blind Forest community for getting me into speedrunning. You guys are awesome. Shoutouts to Covert Muffin for really helping me learn how to do commentary and stuff. I hope it went well enough. Audience, you have to decide that for me. Shoutouts to Bebro29 or 28. You have both numbers. For I dragged my cousin into running this game casually, and then also dragged them into running the co-op percent run because I wanted to run the co-op percent run. So thank you for that. Shoutouts to Huffnut, who is the only person I've ever met who has mentioned this game to me before I have mentioned it to them. And shoutouts to Maddie for doing commentary, not commentary, hosting, One Iowa for being an awesome charity, and Midwest Speed Fest for having me on. If you want to find me, you can find me at twitch.tv/turtlerun2412. And also, if you want to learn this game for yourself, please, I am the only active runner currently, but I did just post a guide to this game. And it's on speedrun.com, so go to speedrun.com, look up pick people, look at the guide. If you need to ask for any help, I'm so more than willing to give it, either in the forums there, or Discord, or Twitch, or wherever. So, I think that's all I have to say. Thank you, Bahamut, for that amazing donation, and it's Splatoon time! Yes!
Let's get woomy, and thank you so much, Turtle, for your run there. I've been greatly entertained.